I have a concern because of the culture. And in American jurisprudence, it is difficult to convict a white man for harming a black child. It should not be so, and I'm hoping this case turns the tide.
84-year-old Andrew Lester was arraigned today in Clay County, Missouri, for shooting 16-year-old Ralph Yarl last week after Yarl rang his doorbell. Lester pleaded not guilty to charges of first-degree assault and armed criminal action. His next court date is scheduled for June 1st. And remember, the reason why Mr. Lester was arraigned just today, which is a week after he shot Ralph Yarl, is because police let Andrew Lester go. The night of the shooting, Lester told the police that he acted in self-defense, that he was scared to death of Yarl's size. According to the family of Ralph Yarl, the teen is 5'8" and weighs 140 pounds. Also remember that Missouri is a stand-your-ground state where you do not have the duty to retreat if you reasonably fear death or bodily harm. You don't have to retreat. You can just shoot. So Andrew Lester stood his ground and police let him go. That is why hundreds of protesters gathered this weekend in Kansas City's Northland, which is north of the Missouri River, and it's where the shooting happened. They wanted Yarl's shooter arrested, and they wanted him charged, and they wanted the Northland community to grapple with its history of racism. When black residents in that area first heard of Yarl's shooting, they echoed the Missouri NAACP's president's feeling that it brought back the sentiment that African Americans, black people, just don't belong there. Now, what is notable about Northland, aside from the fact that 60% of its residents are white, is that it sits within Clay County, which is a staunchly Republican area. Clay County voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump both times, just like the state itself. Missouri voted for Trump in both elections. Missouri is also one of about 30 states with stand-your-ground laws on the books. It was also one of the states that enslaved black people before the end of the Civil War. And if you're wondering what those two maps have to do with each other, it turns out they have a lot to do with each other. The right to armed self-defense, like stand your ground, stems from the Second Amendment, which says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. That amendment has been the NRA's rallying cry for years. Here's the thing. The Second Amendment was ratified when Southern states enslaved black people. And that amendment did not apply to enslaved people. Instead, historians argued that it was created because of them. The militias referenced in the Second Amendment were primarily there to aid slave patrols and shut down slave revolts. They were worried about uprisings. In 2021, historian Carol Anderson described the event in 1791 that was behind that fear. It was the Haitian Revolution. Now, this country has a long history of gun policy that buttresses the power of white Americans at the expense of black people. Historians argue that that history is still alive today, both in the application of our gun laws and in American culture itself. It was seemingly alive in November 2021 when Kyle Rittenhouse, the teenager who fatally shot two men and wounded another during a Black Lives Matter protest, when Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted. When he stood trial, his lawyers argued that Rittenhouse was just exercising his Second Amendment right to stand his ground, to be part of a well-regulated militia, to defend himself with a gun. And after the courts acquitted him, gun culture celebrated him. Donald Trump welcomed him to Mar-a-Lago. Rittenhouse became a sort of gun celebrity. In fact, this weekend, Kyle Rittenhouse was the headliner of a Republican gun fundraising event in Idaho, which was promoted as Trigger Time with Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse received a standing ovation the same weekend that Ralph Yarl's family was waiting to see if their son would recover from his Stand Your Ground shooting. That is where American gun culture is. As for Andrew Lester in Missouri, we are waiting to see if this case turns the tide on that very culture.